जगन्नाथ बलदेव महारानी सुदर्शन की जय, गौर निताई की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, गौर प्रेमानंद। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my most respectful obeisances at all of your lotus feet. I pay my most respectful obeisances at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, and I pray to the Lordships to empower me to speak only that is beneficial to all and nothing else. I am very, very grateful to His Grace Rajpran Prabhuji and Her Grace Apara Mataji and our sector leaders, His Grace Sankarshan Prabhu, and then Her Grace Vishnupriya Mataji, and to all the Vaishnavas here to engage me in this glorious service. Hare Krishna. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टकी मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम् नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Withdrawal of the Cosmic Creations, Chapter 12. Lord Amohini Murti bewilders Lord Shiva, Text 4. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 4. Shri Mahadeva Uvacha Deva Deva Jagadvyapin Jagadisha Jaganmaya Sarvesham api bhavanam Tvam atma heturishvaraha. Translation. Lord Mahadeva said, O chief demigod among the demigods, O all-pervading Lord, master of the universe, by your energy you are transformed into the creation. You are the root and efficient cause of everything. You are not material. Indeed, you are the super soul or supreme living force of everything. Therefore, you are Parameshwara, the supreme controller of all controllers. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu resides within the material world as the Sattva-guna Avatara, Lord Shiva is the Tamo-guna Avatara, and Lord Brahma is the Rajoguna Avatara. But although Lord Vishnu is among them, he is not in the same category. Lord Vishnu is Devadeva, the chief of all the demigods. Since Lord Shiva is in this material world, the energy of the Supreme Lord Vishnu includes Lord Shiva. Lord Vishnu is therefore called Jagadvyapi, the all-pervading Lord. Lord Shiva is sometimes called Maheshwara, and so people think that Lord Shiva is everything. But here, Lord Shiva addresses Lord Vishnu as Jagadisha, the master of the universe. Lord Shiva is sometimes called Vishveshwara, but here he addresses Lord Vishnu as Jaganmaya, indicating that even Vishveshwara is under Lord Vishnu's control. Lord Vishnu is the master of the spiritual world and he controls the material world also. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Maya Dhyakshena Prakritihi Suyate Sacharacharam. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are also sometimes called Ishvara, but the supreme Ishvara is Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna. As stated in Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna. The Supreme Lord is Sri Krishna, Lord Vishnu. Everything in existence works in proper order because of Lord Vishnu. Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastam. Even Paramanu, the small atoms, work because of Lord Vishnu's presence within them. Let's stop sharing. मम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we were discussing the Canto 8 and we have completed 11 chapters. So this whole 8th canto is about Manvantara avatars because Parikshit Maharaj hears about Swayambhu Manvantara, Swayambhu Manu in Canto 7 and he is very eager to hear about the further the Manus after Swayambhu. Like 14 Manvantaras happen in one day of Brahma. So the whole Canto 8 is all about one day of Brahma. How a day of Brahma would be. How a day runs in the life of Brahma would be is described in whole 8th canto. So till now we have seen 6 Manvantaras. So Ajita we have seen, and then we have seen Hari who had delivered Gajendra. So all these are Manvantara avatars, and there are other avatars also along with Manvantara avatars in 8th canto. Especially is dedicated to Manvantara avatars. So we have seen in the previous chapter Samudra Manthan, the famous pastime, how the Lord appears as Mohini Murti, and then he bewilders the demons, and then he delivers nectar to the demigods. So Lord Shiva hears these pastimes because he could not visualize or take darshan of the Lord in this female form. So he develops this desire to have darshan of this famous, the beautiful form of the Lord in this female form. So actually, Mohini Murti appears twice in this pastime. So one we have already seen in Samudra Manthan pastime, that Mohini Murti appears to deliver nectar, and then this is the second time in this chapter. Mohini Murti, the Lord appears again once once again in the form of Mohini Murti. So we are in the text 4. In text 1 and 2, it is described that Sukdev Goswami says that Lord Shiva hears about this pastime and he is very, very enthusiastic to see the Lord in this form. And then so he takes in the third verse, it is said that he takes Uma Devi along with him and all his entourage, the Preta Ganas, the Bhuta Ganas, all his entourage, all his parivar along with him. He mounts the bull carrier and he proceeds towards Lord Madhusudana. This is a interesting detail that the Lord here is mentioned as Madhusudana. So they proceed towards the Lord to express his desire to see the Lord in the female form. So the one theme that we can learn from this is hearing about the Lord's pastimes. Srila Prabhupada says as the beginning of devotional service, or our progress in devotional service depends on our hearing or reading. Both are same. So reading Srila Prabhupada books or hearing to the pastimes from bona fide sources will make our progress very quick. So in this way, Lord Shiva takes Uma Devi and also all the entourage with him and proceeds towards Lord Madhusudana. Then after now the text 4, once he comes to Madhusudana's abode, the Lord very respectfully, the Supreme Lord Madhusudana very respectfully receives Lord Shiva and his entourage. And then in text 4, Lord Shiva starts speaking. What did he say? He says he did not actually put his desire immediately. Oh Lord, I want to see your form in the Mohini Murti. What did he do? He first started glorifying the Lord's wonderful qualities. So Prabhupada says that it is a general etiquette when we go to visit a great personality, that one should offer his prayers in glorifying, in thanking, in expressing our gratefulness. In some emotion, we have to offer our prayers. Even when we go to see Guru Maharaj, we immediately offer our pranam mantra to Guru Maharaj, Nitai Kripa Pradayini, like that. Even in Canto 8, we see Prabhupada gives, in the beginning of every canto, Prabhupada gives a message. Right? So in Canto 8 also he gives a message, a gist of Canto 8. In that he mentions his prayers to his spiritual master, Saraswati Thakura. He says that, my dear spiritual master, I have completed successfully 7 cantos. Now I am about to write 8th canto. Please bless me. And I have completed Krishna book as well. Karke he updates his services in fulfilling his spiritual master's desire. And even Srimad Bhagavatam itself starts with a prayer, like Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadhyasya Yata, like that. So prayers are integral part of our devotional service. So in his prayers, what is Lord Shiva mentioning here is very, very interesting. There are some key words that we focus on. He says, O Deva Deva. So Lord Shiva says, O Deva Deva, matlab his intention was, even though Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, all of us three are taking care of the material affairs, like Trigunas, they are taking care of Trigunas. We all know Brahmadev is controller of Rajogun, and Lord Shiva is controller of the Tamogun, and Lord Vishnu maintains this world in Sattvagun. He controls Sattvagun. Like that, they are all Gunavataras. Even though we are all apparently seem like we are all on the same platform, oh Lord, you are above us all. Deva Deva, you are the chief of all the demigods. You are not among us. You're not among us, you're above us. O chief of demigods. Or another explanation given is the one who performs pastimes among demigods, because this canto 8 is all about manvantara avatars. Manvantara avatars are generally not about earthly planets. It is all about heavenly planets. Manvantara avatars appear in, not always, but most of the time appear in heavenly planets. So the one who performs pastimes among demigods, O Deva Deva, is exclusively mentioning the position of the Lord here. And then the second keyword we can focus on is Jagat Vyapin. Because Lord Shiva is resides in the material world. He's very, very closely connected to the material world, that we will be seeing in the future uh, explanations. So he's very, very closely connected to the material world. He connects himself to the Lord in this way. Jagat Vyapin means all pervading. He is mentioning about the impersonal feature of the Lord, that he is everywhere. Like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ham Sarvasya Prabhu, everything comes from him. There is nothing that is not in Krishna. Even Lord Shiva is included in it. That is what he is mentioning here. I am also included in your energy, because you are everywhere in this material world, and I am part of this material world. So I am residing in your energy. That was the intention that Acharyas give here, that Lord Shiva is mentioning. And then the next is Jagadisha. Jagadisha is Jagat Isha. Isha is controller or Ishvara. You are the master of the universe. Again, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He himself is declaring, I am Maheshwara. But people generally give this word Maheshwara to Lord Shiva, right? So Maheshwara himself is mentioning here, oh my Lord, you are the original Jagadisha. You are the original controller. We are all controllers in various capacities. Somebody is in 10% capacity control. Even jivas are controllers. We also control our senses. We also have some controlling capacity. Everybody is a controller in some capacity. But you are the controller of the controllers. You have nobody above you to control you. You are the Jagadisha. You are the master of the whole creation, both material and spiritual. And then he says Jaganmaya. Jaganmaya again, Lord Shiva is called as Vishveshwara. In the purport, Prabhupada mentions this. He is said to be Vishveshwara. That is, he is also Lord of this Jagat, this material world. So, but I am also under your control, Jaganmaya. Your Maya, your energy is the controlling thing of all of us. We are under your control. So, in this way, he glorifies the Lord with the truthful descriptions of the Supreme Lord. There is no flattering. He is pouring out his heart before he expresses his desire to see the Lord. So generally the position of Lord Shiva is so high that people almost think that he must be the Supreme Lord, because his position is such a unique and very high that people will not be able to distinguish. He's very very close to Supreme Lord, like in the capacity. That's why people almost take him as the Supreme Lord. But as devotees, we should be very much clear about the positions of various personalities, because it may affect our goals. It may change our destinations. So devotees should be very diligently working on this intricate details of positions of various personalities. Yeah. So the glories of Lord Shiva, we'll spend a bit of time on the position of Lord Shiva, and then we'll go ahead. So the position of Lord Shiva, as we said, is so high that he is said to be Dhira Purusha, because he is always in contact with the material nature. but still we never see him falling down. Mahamaya is too powerful and too stringent that nobody can actually avoid its influence upon anyone. So but Lord Shiva is constantly in touch with Lord Uma Devi, the external energy of the Lord, the inferior energy of the Lord. But still, he keeps up his position stable all the time. So he's always in dhyana avastha. He's meditating. He's always in the yoga mudra, meditating on Lord Sankarshana. And then it is said that he always recites the names of Lord Ram. That's how he is protected from the influence of Mahamaya. It is mentioned in Shastras. Then he's also said to be Asutosh. He's very easily pleased because he is not concerned about, even though he is in this material world, he's not very much interested in um, material, what to say, wealth or material enjoyments. But people, when they approach Lord Shiva, he feels like don't bother me, just take whatever you want. Okay, he's easily pleased, matlab he doesn't want them to bother him much, so he easily gives off whatever the people may ask him, like we see so many demons in the past. And then and the famous sloka that Vaishnavas love to recite is Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. He is a Vaishnava Sreshta. And one important message to note down when I heard this part of the thing in some lecture, that Prabhuji was mentioning, whom do we call as the topmost devotee, Prabhuji? Whom do we call? Who is the greatest lover of the Lord? Hmm? Just because we are now discussing about Lord Shiva, but generally in our discussions in Vaishnava thing, who do we consider as the topmost personality, that there is nobody else who can love the Lord in that capacity? Radharani. Yes, Radharani, Braj Gopis, they are the epitome of love. But now here we see Lord Shiva is the Vaishnava Sreshta. So that Prabhuji is mentioning Vaishnava Sreshta in the material world. So when we see in the material world, who is the best devotee, who can be the best devotee of the Lord, it is just Lord Shiva, and nobody else can beat him in this capacity. But we don't actually follow Lord Shiva, we follow Brajagopis path, isn't it? So in spiritual world, there is nobody above Srimati Radharani who can actually exhibit such a capacity of love towards the Lord. Yeah. And there is another interesting part of Lord Shiva, that it is said the abode of Lord Shiva is, I think, three quarters is in material world and one quarter is in spiritual world, or vice versa. I'm not sure about this, but a part of Kailash, or his abode, is in spiritual world, and also part is in material world. That's how he maintains the material affairs. So he often goes to Brahmajyoti, because it is in the spiritual world. He has the connection to the spiritual sky. He often goes to spiritual sky, Brahmajyoti, and preaches to the souls hanging out there. They are most unfortunate souls, not engaged in the service, this loving service of the Lord. They're just hanging out, just like virus, not live, not dead. Just like that, they're hanging out there without any service opportunity. So Lord Shiva, it is said that he often goes to Brahmajyoti to preach to them and make them ascend to higher planets like Vaikunta and maybe Goloka sometimes. So, and we also see that if a sincere person desires to go back to the Lord, and he is in search of the supreme controller. Who is the supreme controller? If a sincere seeker is there, Lord Shiva is the first person, just like Narada Muni. He is the first person to help such a sincere soul. In Pracheta's pastime, we see not like their father Prachin Barhi, Prachetas were very much sincere in their endeavor. They were in the search of supreme controller. Who is the supreme Lord? Who is mm, mm, the supreme personality of Godhead? So they were meditating for long time under the lake, and then Lord Shiva appears there on his own accord, just showing his compassionate nature towards Prachetas, and he delivers Shiva Gita, and then shows them the path way to God, way back to Godhead. So, and then we see many pastimes in Vrindavan, how he was very eager to see when the Lord appears as Bal Gopal in Yashoda Maya's house. How he took the form of Gopeshwar Mahadev, and then and many more pastimes. So, so Lord Shiva is very dear to us, and he also has a sampradaya, Rudra sampradaya. That's how he delivers so many souls connected to that sampradaya. And he also takes care of this thankless job of delivering pretaganas, pisachas, and there is nobody to take care of them except there is only one shelter for them, that is Lord Mahadev. So, ordinary people generally consider him as Supreme Lord himself. So therefore, Jiva Goswami mentions in his Shad Sandarbhas that there are two tattvas that are very difficult to understand. So one is apparent here, Shiva Tattva, and another is Guru Tattva. Both these tattvas, we say that both are one and same with the Lord and different with the Lord at the same time. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. They are one with the Lord, and yet they are different from the Lord, isn't it? Guru Tattva is also similar. We respect the supreme, the spiritual master as the Lord Himself. We give all respects that we give to the Supreme Lord to our spiritual master as well. But the devotees know that they are different. Just like that, Shiva Tattva also, they are almost same, but yet they are different. So. mm, Lord Shiva is a manifestation of the Lord Himself, as we have discussed previously. Aham Sarvasya Prabhu. There is nothing that is not Krishna. Even this material world that we see, all the material things that we see, everything is coming from Krishna. Why not Lord Shiva? Everything that we see, even we are also part and parcels of the Lord, isn't it? So Lord Shiva is also a manifestation of the Supreme Lord, but he has manifested in that form for a purpose. And what is that purpose? Creation. Srishti, Sthiti, Pralaya. So, the Lord, out of his sweet will and compassionate nature, he thinks, even though he is not obliged to do any activity, he is Swarat, completely independent. He does this. It is said this is a Nikrushta Karya. It is mm, the lowest of his, like, we cannot say his pastime, the lowest kind of activity, creation. He has much more greater things to do in his spiritual world, with great personalities over there, but this is the inferior activity. But still the Lord takes this obligation of creating the material world just for reclaiming these conditioned souls. Otherwise, we are eternally trapped in this material. There is no way back. There is what is the name that is given to us? Nityabaddas. Nitya means eternally we are trapped here. Eternally we are bound to be trapped. Only by the mercy of Vaishnavas and the Supreme Lord, Guru Krishna Kripa, we may go back. One soul or two souls in a long time may go back to the Lord. So, for this purpose, For this purpose, the Lord manifests in the form of Lord Shiva. Why? Because it is also mentioned in Isopanishad. He is nirguna. He is not in any way in contact. Even though inferior nature, the material nature, Mahamaya is his own energy, he is never in touch with it. He is never in contact with it. Otherwise, he is not God. He is not God. So he is always above it. He is always controlling it, but never in touch with it. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, he says, Bhinna Prakritir. It is separated energy of mind. Bhinna Prakriti. It is not connected in any way to me. So for this purpose, even though he is the original cause for this creation, he is the original karana for this original cause for this creation. He needs somebody who can maintain the affairs in the material world. So he manifests in the form of Lord Shiva. The famous Loka explains this very nicely. From Brahma Samhita, we all know Kshiram Yata Dadivikara Visesha Yoga Sanjayate Nahi Tada Pritakasti Heto Yashambhutam Apitada Samupaiti Karya Govindam Adi Purusham Tamham Vadam. Oh my Lord, you are the same Lord. You are Lord Shiva. But you are like milk, and the Lord Shiva is just like yogurt. Because he is always in the touch with the Supreme Lord. It is mentioned like your yogurt. But milk, wherever milk can be used, yogurt cannot be used. So that is the little difference that is there between the Supreme Lord and Lord Shiva. Um, so uh, even though the Lord is the original creator, how did he do this creation? Ikshataha, just by seeing, ikshataha, just by glancing over the material nature, he impregnates the living entities in the material nature. There is no direct contact. So he is the original cause and efficient cause, and maybe the material immediate cause could be Lord Shiva and the material nature. So the linga and the yoni represent this kind of procreation. Correct? So just to maintain the affairs of the material world, he takes it. So Lord Shiva is neither Jiva Tattva or Vishnu Tattva as well. So it is said, that's why he has a unique position. He doesn't come under Vishnu Tattva also, he doesn't come under Jiva Tattva also. So that's why you cannot go to Lord Shiva and ask for liberation, because what is it? Mukti Pradata Sarvesham. Mukti Pradata Sarvesham Vishnur Evana Asamsayaha. Vishnu is the only liberator, the deliverer. Otherwise, no possibility of liberation. So you have to take the shelter of the Lord, Supreme Lord, and nobody else. So Lord Shiva's position is just like, we can think of it as jailer. The jailer can give unlimited facilities to the prisoners. Whatever they want, weekly outings and many more facilities, whatever they want, if he is very compassionate. Lord Shiva is anyway compassionate, so he may provide all the facilities, but not release. He cannot release them from the prison house. He can do all the favors within the prison, but not like the final liberation from the prison house is not possible. That is not under his jurisdiction. So for that, we have to take shelter of the Supreme Lord. Yeah. So now the last theme of today's discussion. So general misconceptions in bhakti in a sadhaka's life. So sometimes devotees get scared, or they are very afraid. What if I stop worshipping Lord Shiva? सदियों से हम करते आ रहे हैं, मेरा दादा दादी, मेरा मम्मी पापा, दे आर वर्शिपिंग Lord Shiva, for that matter anybody else other than the Lord. Then devotees, once they take up, they like devotional service, that's why they have come into devotional path. But still these what to say, emotional attachments from their childhood, they carry on, and they get afraid, if I stop worshipping some personality, what happens to me? Hmm? So this means what? You yourself can analyze what does this intention mean? What does this conception mean to you? That means there is a breach in the initial Shraddha that we have acquired. There is a serious breach in the initial Shraddha. What is Bhakti actually? What is Bhakti? Surrender to the Supreme Lord and no one else. Surrender to the Supreme Lord and nobody else. That means if you're feeling scared, if I don't worship, continue my worship to some personality, I may be under some trouble. That means you're thinking that in your life there is some other powerful personality, some other things that are powerful than Krishna that can bring upon calamity upon you. That is your faith, isn't it? If you interpret your fear, you come to this conclusion, which is a serious breach. It is very, very dangerous, because if you have anarthas, that's okay. If you have sinful tendencies, that's okay. Otherwise, why would Krishna say, if my devotee performs some sinful activity accidentally, I take care of him. Don't worry, he'll be dharmatma. Quickly, he'll become a dharmatma. Don't worry, I'll take care of him. You should still consider him as a sadhu. Krishna is saying that means sadhakas are bound to do some mistakes and sinful activities, because till anartha nivritti we have anarthas, we have sinful tendencies. Even till bhava, some subtle anarthas remain. So that's okay. Anarthas are okay, sinful tendencies are okay, conditioning is okay. But if there is a breach in your faith, in your understanding about the position of the Supreme Lord, then you are under trouble. Then you are under trouble. Krishna would not interfere with your faith. If you have a mixed faith or a misunderstanding in your faith, he will not, because that is your free will. You yourself are taking up devotional service. I want to come to you. You yourself is taking up this path. So that is appreciated by the Lord. But you yourself have these misconceptions in your faith, then Krishna would not interfere. That is very, very dangerous. It may change if your faith is contaminated, mixed with something else. Then your destination is also bound to change. You may think I am doing 16 rounds. You may, any devotee who has these misconceptions, don't mistake me. So so if some devotee is performing, sadhaka is performing 16 rounds and doing 4 regulative principles, studying shastras and doing everything, but still there is a misconception in his basic faith, then it is a serious what to say, calamity in his sadhana life. So one should very much diligently work on the quality of his faith. There are many different types of faiths, many different types of faiths that we can acquire according to our desire. So our swabhava or our conditions should not affect the faith that we receive, because brahmanda brahmite kono bhagyavan jiva Guru Krishna prasade paya bhakti lata bij. We after so much of trouble, some life in this material world, we receive this bhakti lata, and don't just contaminate it with misconceptions or misunderstandings. This we should seriously really work on this. Anarthas, we may not actually work on anarthas. We need not. If you are having anger issues, if you are having lust issues, you need not work upon it. Krishna himself is saying, or in Upanishad, in the first sloka, Prabhupada mentions we need not work. Prayaschitta is not needed for a devotee. He need not do anything special to get rid of your anarthas, because devotional service itself is so purifying, so powerful, that it will get rid of your anarthas automatically if you're stably fixed in your devotional activities that Prabhupada has made for us in the daily routine. Then they are bound to get rid of, uh, bound to get off of our consciousness. But faith is very important part that we have to work on. So swapada moolam bhajata priyasya tyaktani bhavasya hari pareshah. So all these benefits that we hear about devotional service, that we will be able to go to Goloka, not to Vaikunta, we'll be able to participate in the pastimes, we'll be able to get Krishna Prema, all these benefits, higher fruits of devotional service, the results of devotional service, we are not going to incur any of them if you have a breach in our faith. So we should understand that once a jiva surrenders to the lotus feet of the Lord, there is no question of karma in the sadhaka's life. No question of karma. One should never be afraid of what would happen. What would happen if I don't do that? What would happen if I don't do this? Yes, we should be very much cautiously doing our devotional activities. Other than this, if you think, if I don't follow varnashrama dharma, say suppose attending some functions, or doing shraddha karmas, or sandhya vandana, or agnihotra in the morning, all that varnashrama dharma says, it appears so dharmic, but actually seriously they appear so dharmic that people think this is also devotional service. This is also devotional service. It is not devotional service. We only we only take what is favorable to devotional service and reject everything else, even if it is dharmic. Reject everything else. It is not needed in devotional life of a sadhaka. If it is very important, then Rupa Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami must have given it in the list of 64 angas. You have to follow Varnashrama Dharma, you have to do Sandhya Vandana, you have to do so Shraddha Karma. All these he must have listed it. There is nothing like that mentioned in 64 angas of devotional service. Anything else other than these 64 angas is not needed in a devotional practitioner. Then why would Mahaprabhu would have done the Shraddha Karma, or Lord Ram uh, uh, worshipped Lord Shiva? All these, why would we see all these things? How to understand? Hmm? There is one thing, actually two things: the activity that is needed for the soul, and the activities that are needed for the society. Then activities that are needed for the society. If you are alone, nobody is around you, no relatives, no, you are living alone, then you need not bother about all these social um, um, obligations. Social obligations are not bound to a devotee. But if you are living in a family, you have relatives and they are not devotees, then if you don't perform a Shraddha Karma, what would they understand? Oh, this ISKCON is very like they don't follow any Shastra, they are on their own, and it is not so authentic. They never try to see what is happening in ISKCON, or they never try to take up to devotional service. So for Loka Sangraha purpose, to just to say that we are also on the path of Vedic tradition, we also perform sometimes. The devotee must be diligently understanding the situation and taking up these activities. But you should understand, these are not required for my devotional progress. You should not get afraid, oh, if I don't do, something would happen. If I don't do Shraddha Karma, my forefathers will be rotting in hell. This should not be the attitude of the sadhaka. If he's performing, he should do it only for Loka Sangraha, not for his faith. This distinction, this distinguishing thing should be this discrimination should be there in sadhaka's life. He should not be doing it for himself. They are not going to affect our sadhana in any way unless you think. If you think, then your destinations may change, isn't it? So Lord, you should understand that nothing, even karma or no other personality is going to influence me, affect me in any way if there is no Krishna's will. If Krishna wills, something may happen. That's fine with me. Whatever happens in my life is mercy of the Lord, not because of my karma. I am not under karma's jurisdiction. I am not bound to any karma. Even though a sadhaka performs a sinful activity, he is not bound to karma. Hmm? Isn't it? Because in Bhagavad Gita, what is that sloka? Sadhureva hi mantavya. Uh, mm, that accidentally he apichetsu duracharo. He's talking about a sadhaka apichetsu duracharo. Who is doing the durachara here? A devotee. He's bound to do. That's okay. He's bound to do some mistake, some sinful activity. That's okay. I'll take care. Krishna is saying, Sarva dharman parityajya. All dharmas you have learned since your childhood and previous lifetime, just relinquish, just surrender on to me. Swapada moolam bhajata priyasya. Just surrender on to me. Lovingly, you devotedly serve me. I'll take care of everything. That faith, that pure faith, we have to uh, secure. We have to uh, uh, protect this faith. So unnecessarily hearing so many lectures from other sampradayas or so many other personalities who are not authentic will make this breach in our faith. Don't, please choose your um, preachers, or choose the personalities who has properly understood the bhakti tattva. Bhakti Tattva. Prabhupada mentions in one lecture about a sloka that if a preacher, if a devotee is not having a proper behavior, ideal behavior, if a devotee is not having an ideal behavior, then he should not be doing this one. Apani achari prabhu jiveri sikshaya. One should not become a preacher. One should not become a preacher. So it is our responsibility. So from whom I should hear? From whom I should hear? So many personalities nowadays and YouTube give so many kinds of misinterpretations or misconceptions, or other sampradayas. They have their own mood. We should never dare to breach our pure faith that we have received from Guru Krishna. See, in Kali Yuga, nothing is pure. Even water is not pure. But still, we fortunate souls have received this pure faith from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Suddha Prema, we can attain Krishna Prema if you follow diligently the path that is given by our previous acharyas. But if you are not very cautious, and what happens if you don't value it, we'll lose it. We will lose it. And I happen to hear people, sadhaka bhaktas, they fast on non-Vaishnava thithis as well. They fast and they think this is bhakti. This may increase my bhakti. This will enhance my bhakti. But no, this is a serious breach again in faith. That means you think that acharyas have given something less, that you have to do something extra. We need not. Fasting itself is not a devotional activity. Fasting on Vaishnava Tithi is a devotional activity. Fasting itself is not a devotional activity. Why do we have to do fasting, extra fasting on non-Tithis, non-Vaishnava Tithis? This is serious breach again. So there are many misconceptions creeping up into our pure bhakti in our parampara recently. And now we also hear about now the flare up of Hinduism and nationalism nowadays because of the favorable government in India. People now started thinking Hinduism is bhakti, nationalism is bhakti. We glorify our previous kings and previous This we are not. We are devotees. What is the first instruction of Prabhupada? You are not this body. You are not Indian. You are not American. You are spirit soul. Why are we falling down again? It is favorable, government is favorable, that's nice, our preaching is happily can go on favorably under such a government, that's nice, but don't take up their mood. Whatever they speak is not bhakti, it is not our parampara mood. Don't fall back, don't fall down from our position. Maintain, otherwise what happens, it is just 500 years that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had appeared, and now we see already the dilution that is happening in serious sadhakas. We see this nationalism, Hinduism. We are not Hindus. Suppose I die now and I get a birth in America, then I will not do my bhakti, I should leave it. If I'm born in India, then I am a devotee, I'll become a devotee. That's what is that we are learning. No, right? So we should always see on the platform of what is the relationship with Krishna. Not that about a place or about a religion or about something else we have to do that acharyas didn't mention. All these are serious breaches in our faith, Shraddha. The Shraddha that we receive is the only thing that is going to get transformed step by step and become Krishna Prema. If it is seriously contaminated, it is not going to give you any kind of such destination, no results. Sometimes we may land up in heavenly planets. We are not serious. Yeah. So our even Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, 2 more minutes, will end the class. So in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna also mentions the same. He says so many dharmic things. Oh my Lord, if I kill my own people, what will happen to their families? Varnashankara may happen. Whole population gets contaminated. That's true. Dharmic, it appears so true. Yeah, and then he says about varnashrama dharma there, and then he says what happens to my I become sinful. I become sinful if I kill my kinsmen and all that, brothers and teachers and all that. And he speaks a very like saintly person, a very great scholar. And Krishna, who is the establisher of dharma, himself is defying all these arguments of Arjuna in the second chapter itself. All the four arguments are defied in the second chapter itself. He says, how come these impurities have come upon you? Because Krishna is seeing Arjuna as a devotee. He is not just an ordinary person. So these are not meant for a devotee. It can be true for other ordinary people who are not in a position to take up to the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. It is for them. It is good still, not falling below it. At least following some Vedic conceptions will elevate them further, but not for a devotee. Krishna says, raise above this Vedic Traigunya. You raise above this Trigunas, the Vedic injunctions. And then he elevates him to the platform that where these two principles only work, only should be followed. What is that? Anukulyasya sankalpo, pratikulyasya varjanam. Even though it appears to be dharmic, just relinquish, just deny it. Sarva dharman, dharma only you have to deny. Adharma is not there in a devotee's life. What should be then denied? Dharma itself, which will make you fall down. Your position comes down. So, Anukulyasya, whatever is favorable, whatever pleases the Lord, let us do. Whatever displeases the Lord and the Parampara and the Acharyas, let us deny it. There is no second opinion, only two principles. They may think, oh, you're telling to follow 16 rounds and do follow regulative principle. They are doing this, and we also do this. What is we are doing something extra only, we are not doing any we are not setting back anything in devotional service. No, because your faith is getting breached over there. It is hidden, uh, hiding under your consciousness and breaching your faith. You are thinking there is another thing that is controlling my life, there is another thing that can bestow good onto me other than Krishna. This breach in faith is very, very dangerous. So misconceptions of Bhakti Tattva is considered to be very serious calamity in the life of sadhaka. So with this, I would like to end the class. Please forgive me if I have in any way offended any of the Vaishnavas here, and please accept my apologies. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Radhika Mataji, for so nicely explaining the purport of today's verse. तो माताजी इंग्लिश में बात किया तो मैं लेक्चर दिया तो मैं हिंदी में अनुवाद करूंगा। तो माताजी हम सबको बताया कि इस 8th कैंटो में जो हम सुन रहे हैं, सीख रहे हैं, ये वर्मा जी का एक दिन की विषय है। तो यह अब तक हम 6 मनवंतरों के बारे में सुना है और भगवान शिव, भगवान के मोहिनी मूर्ति लीला को श्रवण करने का आशा रखते हैं। एंड माता जी ने हाईलाइट किया कि हमें भी ये हियरिंग जो श्रवण जो है ये बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट डिवोशनल क्वालिटी है हमारा आध्यात्मिक उन्नति के लिए। तो हमारा आध्यात्मिक उन्नति श्रवण, भगवान के लीलाओं के श्रवण के ऊपर निर्धारित है। इसलिए हम सब रोज हमें भागवतम, भगवत गीता और आचार्यों से श्रवण करना चाहिए। और माताजी बताया कि क्या एटिकेट होता है, होना चाहिए हमें जब हम भगवान के अर्च विग्रह से मिलते हैं या भगवान के शुद्ध भक्त हमारा आचार्य या वरिष्ठ भक्त से मिलते हैं। हमें पहले उन उनके डिवोशनल क्वालिटीज का गुणगान करना चाहिए। इसी तरह भगवान शिव जी भी भगवान का गुणगान करते हैं, उनको अनेक नाम से गुणगान करते हैं, देव देवा, जगत व्यापन, जगदीशा, इस तरह। तो इसके बाद माता जी ने क्लैरिफाई किया हम सब एक तरह से हमारा स्थिर पे हम एक कंट्रोलर है, बट सबसे बड़ा कंट्रोलर है वो भगवान कृष्णा। तो शिव जी का पोजीशन क्या है इसके बारे में बहुत विस्तार से माता जी ने एक्सप्लेन किया। तो शिव जी भले ही ये माया उनके भगवान उन उनसे भगवान का सेवा जो है वो इस भौतिक सृष्टि को एक्सपैंड करना, तो भले ही वो ये सेवा के लिए महामाया के संकल्प निकट आते हैं, बट फिर भी वो हमेशा भगवान राम का नाम जपते रहते हैं। तो इस तरह वो हमेशा ट्रांसेंडेंटल रहते हैं। और उनका उनका नाम है आशुतोष। वो बहुत ही आसान तरीके से किसी का इच्छा हो वो पूरी करते हैं। तो अगर हम कृष्ण भक्ति, कृष्ण प्रेम का इच्छा रख के शिव जी के पास जाएंगे तो वो आसान तरीके से हमें आशीर्वाद करते हैं। मगर असुरों के तरह हमें भौतिक इच्छाएं रखे शिव जी के पास नहीं जाना है, क्योंकि वो इच्छा भी पूरी हो जाएगा और हम अ, और भी बड़ा असुर बन जाएंगे। तो माता जी ने बताया शिव जी है वो वैष्णवानाम यथा शंभु, वो वैष्णवों से सबसे श्रेष्ठ है। वो हमारा स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर है, महाजन है और गुरु है, क्योंकि उनसे हम भगवान के भक्ति किस तरह करना है वो हम सीख सकते हैं। तो इस भौतिक सृष्टि, भौतिक जगत में वो सबसे सर्वश्रेष्ठ भक्त है। और उनके प्रचार का भाव और बद्ध जीवों के उद्धार करने का भाव इस तरह है कि वो ब्रह्म ज्योति में भी जाके प्रचार करते हैं। हमें देखिए सिर्फ ये सिटीज में जहाँ हम रहते हैं वहाँ प्रचार करने से ही वही बड़ी बात है, मगर शिव जी ब्रह्म ज्योति जाके वहाँ पर भी प्रचार करते हैं। और जो भूतगण ये सब जो है बहुत ही आ, दुस्थिति में है, उनको भी भगवान शिव आश्रय देते हैं। तो ब्रह्म संहिता में जिस तरह कहा है ब्रह्मा जी ने, भगवान कृष्ण अगर दूध है तो भगवान शिव दही है। तो दूध से दही बनता है, मगर वो रिवर्स ऑर्डर में नहीं होता है। तो भगवान का अंश है भगवान शिव, मगर उनका बहुत ही अलग अलग पोजीशन होता है। तो हमें शिव जी को भगवान मानना एक तरह से फिलोसॉफिकली गलत है। दो वी नो दैट one of the, I mean, Sadashiva is a Vishnu Tattva, but in general terms speaking, एट द सेम टाइम शिव जी एक जीव तत्व भी नहीं है, हमारा जैसे भी डेफिनेटली नहीं है, ऑर्डिनरी देवताओं के तरह भी डेफिनेटली नहीं है। उनका शिव तत्व बहुत ही अलग होते हैं। ये बहुत ही हम जैसे बद्ध जीव को समझने के लिए बहुत ही कठिन है। तो माता जी ने ये भी हाईलाइट किया कि अगर हमें इस भौतिक जगत से लिबरेशन या मुक्ति चाहिए तो भगवान कृष्ण के पास ही हमें जाना है। अगर हम भगवान शिव के पास जाएंगे, वो भगवान शिव को भगवान कृष्ण से हमें कनेक्ट करते हैं। इस तरह ही कैन बी एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट, बट द अवॉर्डर ऑफ लिबरेशन इज ऑलवेज लॉर्ड कृष्णा। तो माता जी ने और एक पॉइंट पे हाईलाइट किया, जिस तरह हमारा भक्ति जो हम अभी प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं, इसमें कुछ मिलावट आ सकता है। तो इसलिए हमें सावधान रहना है। और हमें जो चैतन्य महाप्रभु और हमारा गौड़ीय संप्रदाय में आचार्यगण ने सिखाया है, उस तरह हमें भक्ति प्रैक्टिस करना है। वो शुद्ध भक्ति होना चाहिए, मिश्र भक्ति नहीं होना चाहिए। और माता जी ने ये हाईलाइट किया कि जो भी रिचुअल्स भगवत गीता, आई मीन वेद शास्त्र में कहा गया है, वो किस के लिए अप्लीकेबल है। जो डायरेक्ट कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस में है, उनका अल्टीमेट गोल है भगवान कृष्ण के पास जाना, कृष्ण प्रेम प्राप्त करना। तो हमें ये सावधान रहना चाहिए कि ये जो भी वेद शास्त्रों में रिचुअल्स है जिससे हम सत्व गुण में आ सकते हैं, इन्हीं को हम भक्ति नहीं मानना है। अगर ये सब हम भगवत भगवान कृष्ण के अच्छे भक्त या हमारा कृष्ण कॉन्शियस प्रोग्रेस के लिए करना चाह रहे हैं, तो वो अलग बात है। बट जनरली वैदिक रिचुअल्स विच आर परफॉर्म्ड not necessarily for devotional, not necessarily as devotional practice, because that's not exactly the mood in which we practice all these rituals. तो वो it can be avoided. बट बात ये है कि फॉर डिवोटीज, आई मीन फॉर पीपल इन जनरल जो भक्ति मार्ग में नहीं है, उनके लिए बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट है। इसलिए वो शास्त्र में कहा है, नहीं तो शास्त्र में क्यों कहते हैं, इजंट इट। तो बट अगर आप ऑलरेडी कृष्ण भावनामृत में आ चुके हैं और डायरेक्ट कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस या भगवान का नाम, भागवतम और आचार्य से दीक्षा ये सब प्राप्त किए हैं, तो आपको फोकस्ड रहना चाहिए, डिस्ट्रैक्टेड नहीं होना चाहिए। जो महाप्रभु ने हमें सिखाया है वो मूड को मेंटेन करके हम भक्ति करना चाहिए। अनुकूल्यस्य संकल्पः प्रतिकूल्यस्य वर्जनम, ये हमारा प्रिंसिपल हमेशा होना चाहिए। वी शुड नॉट गेट कैरिड अवे बाय दिस एंड दैट, वी शुड जस्ट फॉलो what our spiritual masters have instructed us. So thank you very much, Mataji, for such clarity in everything that you spoke in today's class. We are very, very delighted to hear about Lord Shiva's glories. He's certainly the savior of Bhutaganas. And I mean, though, let's say I appear like this, but I know I am also one of the Bhutaganas. So we are very, 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 very happy to hear about the worshipable Lord Shiva and his glorious position. And even in our tradition, as many of you know, in Gaudiya Sampradaya, Lord Shiva is worshipped. So if there are members here who are brand new and who have logged into this class, they should know that Lord Shiva is worshipped in all the traditions, but the understanding differs. In our Gaudiya tradition, we accept Lord Shiva as the most exalted spiritual master, as one who benedicts his worshippers with Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Prema. And therefore, you see in our Gaudiya Sampradaya, all our acharyas, right from Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who established the Yogapeeth in Mayapur, and Srila Prabhupada, who has explained to us that all these dhams are protected by Lord Shiva. He's dham palak, and in that mood, we can worship and pray to Lord Shiva to give us to help us grow or progress in our Krishna consciousness. जैसे कि माता जी ने बताया, वो आशुतोष है. अगर हमारा डिजायर सही है, जो कृष्ण भक्ति कृष्ण प्रेम है, तो बहुत आसान तरीके से एक गुरु के पोजीशन से, एक एग्जॉल्टेड वैष्णवा के पोजीशन से भगवान शिव भी हमसे वो ही चाहते हैं कि हम अच्छा कृष्ण भक्ति करें, तो उनका आशीर्वाद हम प्राप्त कर सकते हैं. So thank you so much, Radhika Mataji, for your wonderful class. Once again, if you want to glorify Bhagavatam.
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. श्रील गुरुदेव की जय. निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. हरि हरि बोल.
Hari Hari.
Thank you.
All right, dear devotees, now all of you are aware that we are